A sorcerer tied a pregnant woman to an altar. Then he took out a dagger. He was preparing to carve the fetus from her womb alive. The reason he did this was to use the fresh life to gain even greater power. But the sorcerer had no idea that something far more terrifying had already set its sights on him. In a quiet town somewhere in Thailand, a flock of crows suddenly flew in. They swept across the sky in overwhelming numbers. It looked as if something terrible was about to happen. Terrified, the villagers hurried back into their homes. Soon all of the crows gathered in front of a single house. Inside, a pregnant woman carrying twins was giving birth. The moment the crows landed on the windowsill, the midwife sensed something was wrong. Sure enough, when the woman delivered the first baby, it was a stillborn infant completely drained of blood. Before the midwife could react, the other fetus inside the woman pulled the umbilical cord back into the womb. The midwife was so frightened that she fled the room on the spot. When the woman sat up to look, she discovered that the newborn girl was chewing on the umbilical cord in her hands. The horrifying sight terrified her instantly. Then in the next moment, countless crows seemed to lose control and dropped lifelessly to the ground. This signaled that the birth of the baby girl would bring an ominous fate to the town. 9 years passed in the blink of an eye. The baby girl had grown up and her name was Lisa. Because her mother blamed her for her brother's death, she did little more than feed Lisa and leave her alone in a corner every day. As a result, Lisa became a silent, withdrawn girl. She never took the initiative to approach anyone. One day, a spiritual master noticed Lisa. Seeing the ominous aura wrapped around her, he attempted to use a ritual to dispel it. But the moment the ceremony began, he suffered a violent backlash. He coughed up blood and collapsed. From then on, the villagers regarded Lisa as a harbinger of disaster. They warned her mother not to let her come out and harm people anymore. A few more years passed. Lisa attended the local high school, but because of her reputation as a curse bringer, most classmates avoided her. Only one girl was different. Her name was Mary. She was the daughter of the town's police chief and had a cheerful personality. While everyone else kept their distance from Lisa, Mary ignored the rumors completely. Mary believed that Lisa was someone who needed a friend, and she wanted to be that friend. The two of them shopped together, ate together, and even took a commemorative photo in a studio to symbolize their friendship. For the first time, smiles began to appear on Lisa's face. The shadows of isolation that had once surrounded her slowly faded away. One day outside a movie theater, the girls saw a group of thugs beating up a young man. Unexpectedly, the young man was highly skilled. With only a few moves, he knocked the thugs to the ground. But just as he let his guard down, one of them suddenly pulled out a dagger. Seeing this, Lisa quickly shouted a warning. Luckily, Mary scared the attackers off by invoking the police. What was strange, however, was that although the young man had clearly been slashed by the dagger, there was no wound on his body. Lisa stepped forward to check on him, but he showed no appreciation for her concern.
จะฆ่ากูเหรอฆ่ากูดิเหมือนที่มึงฆ่าแม่กูไง
The young man's name was Jack. He was the only child who had been willing to play with Lisa when they were young. One day Lisa had gone to his house to find him, but Jack's mother discovered her there. She merely touched Lisa and something horrifying happened to her body. Her veins bulged, her skin began turning black, and she collapsed to the floor in agony. Seeing this, Lisa hurried over and grabbed her by the neck, trying to absorb the evil energy into herself. This was a unique ability Lisa had possessed since birth, but Jack's father did not understand what was happening. He shoved Lisa aside in panic. As a result, Jack's mother died on the spot. From that day on, Jack hated Lisa. He believed that her appearance had caused his mother's death. At only 9 years old, Lisa did not know how to defend herself. She could only silently endure Jack's misunderstanding. Deep down, she also believed she was a curse. Anyone who came near her would suffer misfortune. So Lisa stopped hoping to be accepted. She only wanted to live quietly and unnoticed. And yet in the deepest part of her heart, she still longed to be loved. That contradiction made her seem like a hedgehog curled up in a corner. She wanted to protect herself but could never completely shut herself away. Fortunately, Mary's appearance changed everything. She helped Lisa emerge from the darkness. Even after learning what had happened to Jack's mother, Mary felt no fear at all.
บ้าไม่กลัวหรอกใครจะไปกลัวใครคิดไงก็ให้เขาคิดไปเราอะโชคดีจะตายได้เป็นเพื่อนกับแม่มดด้วยนะ
That night, Lisa's mother Anna entered a hidden room. She knelt before an altar and prayed continuously. At the center of the altar were the bones of the baby boy. For all these years, she had never stopped missing her son. After several glasses of liquor, Anna picked up a dagger. She intended to join her son in death. Luckily, Lisa arrived in time to stop her. The strange symbols tattooed across Anna's back hinted that she was hiding a dark secret of her own. That night, while sleeping, Lisa had a disturbing nightmare. She dreamed of her mother kneeling before an altar with mysterious symbols carved into her back as if participating in a terrible ritual. Just as Lisa stepped forward to look closer, her mother turned around. Then a baby suddenly appeared inside her abdomen. Lisa woke up in terror. At that moment, she still had no idea what the nightmare meant. The next day, Lisa paddled a wooden boat to meet Mary, but halfway there she noticed police gathered along the shore. Curious, she approached the scene. A murder had occurred in town. The victim's death was gruesome and ritual objects were scattered around him. It looked as though someone had used black magic on him. Even more disturbing was the symbol tattooed on his chest. It was identical to the one Lisa had seen in her dream. The victim's friend told the police that he had seen the man wandering near Lisa's house the night before. Now he was dead. After hearing this, the victim's wife became convinced that Lisa had killed her husband. Sensing danger, Lisa quickly fled the scene. She knew the villagers already saw her as a curse. No matter how she explained herself, no one would believe her. Later, Lisa found Mary and told her about the nightmare. She also drew the strange symbol she had seen on the dead man. Mary thought it was an important clue. She decided to take it to her father, the police chief, to see whether he could investigate it. But just as they stood up to leave, blood began running down Lisa's leg. She panicked immediately. Mary, however, recognized what it was at a glance. Lisa was having her first period. After giving her sanitary supplies, Mary set off to deliver the drawing to her father. But on the way, a passerby collided with her and knocked her down. As she got up, she noticed that the man had the same tattoo on his chest as the murder victim. Realizing something was wrong, Mary did not linger. She hurried toward home. If nothing else, it was clear that the stranger had taken an interest in her. Moments later, Mary's body began reacting strangely. She dropped to her knees and started vomiting violently. To her horror, she vomited a gecko placenta. Before she could recover, her body began convulsing uncontrollably. She had clearly fallen victim to a terrifying spell. Hearing the noise, Lisa rushed over. She grabbed Mary by the neck, trying to absorb the curse from her body. But the sorcery was far too powerful. No matter how hard Lisa tried, nothing worked. As Mary screamed in agony, countless geckos crawled out from inside her body. Then she went still. Watching her only friend die, Lisa felt as if her entire world had collapsed. At that moment, Mary's father happened to be patrolling nearby. Seeing Lisa holding his daughter by the neck, the chief immediately arrested her and locked her in the police holding cell. The coroner later determined that Mary had died from excessive blood loss. Her body was covered in internal lacerations. Strangely, however, the police found no trace of the geckos Lisa had described. With insufficient evidence, Mary's father had no choice but to release Lisa. That night, Anna, furious and grief-stricken, locked Lisa inside her room. Like everyone else, she saw her daughter as a curse. She warned Lisa never to get involved with anyone again. Later, Anna received a note. It said that Lisa had begun menstruating and that it was time to begin their plan. The note signaled that a terrible conspiracy had officially begun. Helpless, Lisa sat in her room staring blankly at the photo she had taken with Mary. Her heart was filled with grief. Suddenly, she heard strange noises and begged her mother to open the door, but Anna ignored her. Soon, Lisa's entire body became unbearably itchy. Then large patches of her skin began peeling away. The next day, Lisa appeared in class like a completely different person. She placed a bouquet on Mary's desk and silently vowed to find the killer and avenge her friend. That night, Lisa brought a classmate to the ruined temple. There she discovered that the temple's idol was still being worshipped regularly. Just as she was wondering why, Emma appeared with several boys. The group restrained Lisa and prepared to assault her. At that critical moment, Jack arrived. He took the boys down in moments and rescued Lisa. Afterward, Lisa learned that Jack had overheard Emma's plan by accident.
ขอบคุณนะ
อย่าเข้าใจผิดว่าฉันจะดีกับแก คนที่จะทรมานแกได้ มีแค่ฉันคนเดียวเท่านั้น
Jack's words reminded Lisa of something Mary had once said.
ถ้าไม่อยากโดนแกล้งอ่ะก็ต้องทำให้ไม่มีใครกล้ายุ่งกับเรา
The next day at school, Lisa grabbed a pair of scissors and slashed a classmate's arm. Then she pinned Emma to the ground and cut her face. This completely enraged Emma. After school, Emma went straight to a sorcerer and asked him to curse Lisa. When Lisa returned home, she immediately sensed that something was wrong. She ran outside and hid, but the attacker found her anyway. During the struggle, Lisa discovered that her opponent was actually a puppet. The puppet had been enchanted, and she was no match for it. Just then a man arrived and smashed the puppet's head with an iron rod. Furious that his magic had been destroyed, the sorcerer launched another spell. Lisa was instantly racked with pain. The man began chanting to suppress the evil force. Within moments, the sorcerer died and Lisa narrowly escaped with her life. The commotion soon drew Anna to the scene. The man's expression changed instantly. He grabbed Anna by the hair and beat her with the rod. Lisa rushed forward to protect her mother. Then the man revealed a shocking secret.
มันไม่ได้คิดว่ามันเป็นแม่มึงหรอกพี่พนอมันก็แค่รับจ้างคลอดมึง
Lisa stared at her mother in disbelief. Finally, the man threw 2 stacks of cash in front of Anna. Ashamed, Anna looked at Lisa, picked up the money and turned away. But the man seized Lisa by the collar.
ถึงคราวนี้มึงต้องทำหน้าที่แทนแม่มึง
His words pierced Anna's heart like needles. She could not bear the thought of her daughter following the same path she had, so she attacked the man from behind and fled with Lisa. But during their escape by boat, they were attacked by a swarm of crows. One crow slashed Anna's throat. Mother and daughter finally reached the shore where Anna's sister had been waiting. After giving her final instructions, Anna died. After burying her mother, Lisa asked her aunt about her past. Years ago, Anna had dreamed of becoming a singer, but she had trusted the wrong people and was deceived. A man promised her a large sum of money if she gave birth to a child. In reality, he belonged to a cult. They used dark rituals to place a strange power inside Anna's body. After the child was born, they intended to use it as a vessel for that power and reclaim it later. But Anna became pregnant with twins. Because Lisa carried a heavy evil aura, she had already absorbed the life force of the other fetus in the womb. Now Lisa possessed the sorcerer's power. She could also bear children, making her especially valuable to them. That was why the man had come looking for her. By the time Lisa finished reading the letter, tears were streaming down her face. Suddenly fierce winds erupted outside and the crows shrieked horribly. Her aunt hurriedly pulled her indoors, but they were too late. Lisa collapsed instantly. The man was performing another ritual from afar, trying to drain the power from her body. Seeing this, her aunt began chanting in response, attempting to block the dark magic and awaken the power within Lisa. At the same time, Jack sought out the master. One night he had seen Lisa drawing black magic out of the master's body and realized he had misunderstood her all along. Now he wanted to uncover the truth and do everything he could to protect Lisa from being used by the cult. Lisa's power had fully awakened. She molded several small figures from mud and began planning her revenge. Her first targets were Emma and her boyfriend. After Emma dropped her boyfriend off at home, she returned to find Lisa sitting at her vanity. Emma jumped in fright and grabbed a bottle of Black Dog's blood from under the bed for protection. But Lisa effortlessly forced her onto the bed where she writhed in agony. Then Lisa blew a cloud of white powder into the air and told her it was the master's ashes. Terrified Emma fled the room in panic. Outside she ran straight into the master. Without a word he grabbed her hair and tore away her scalp. Meanwhile Emma's boyfriend was with his uncle. As Lisa recited a spell, a gecko appeared inside the house. The uncle sensed danger immediately. He grabbed a photo of Lisa and went outside only to be ambushed by her from the shadows. Despite the attack he was much stronger than she was and quickly threw her to the ground.
ของเราจะมึงได้มึงจะกินหนักแม่งมึงอีกไอ้พ่อเนาะ
Then he stumbled in pain, yanked a nail from his foot and continued chanting. As he advanced toward Lisa she suddenly splashed Black Dog's blood onto him and struck him down with a stick. Looking at the photos on the wall Lisa realized that the cult's influence had been passed down through generations and had spread throughout the entire village. She later tied Emma and her boyfriend together, tortured them physically, and even took a cheerful photo of the pair. Soon the village's grand ritual festival arrived. Everyone gathered together in celebration. But suddenly a man began vomiting violently. A piece of human skin appeared in his food. It was Lisa's doing. Anyone who had eaten the tainted food instantly descended into madness and began attacking others. The festival grounds erupted into chaos. Then Lisa slowly approached, murmuring incantations. She intended to use her sorcery to purge the village of evil. Many of those evil people were people she had once known. Jack appeared and begged Lisa to let go of her hatred and stop harming innocents. But at that moment the school principal used Jack to threaten her.
ไปกับฉันแล้วฉันจะไว้ชีวิตไอ้เด็กเหลือขอนี่
To protect him Lisa reluctantly surrendered. The cultists tied her up and carried her toward the temple. There they bathed her and brought her to the ritual altar. It was the same place from her nightmares. They intended to use Lisa to create a new source of dark power. The mastermind behind everything was her school principal. All the people standing below the altar were his followers. No matter how desperately Lisa screamed and begged, the man showed no mercy. He put on a ritual mask and prepared to begin the ceremony. Just then the police stormed in. The chief fired a shot interrupting the ritual, but the man possessed a supernatural body and the bullet did not stop him. As chaos spread through the temple he forced the mask onto Lisa's face and began chanting, trying to extract the power from her body. At the critical moment Jack arrived and struck him with a club. Enraged that the ritual had been disrupted the man shoved Jack to the ground. Before he could continue his body suddenly burst into flames. Lisa's aunt was cursing him from afar. Jack seized the chance to untie Lisa, but just as they tried to escape the man regained control of Jack. Seeing this Lisa put the mask back on and allowed her power to be drained again. Unable to bear her suffering Jack urged her to end it. Without hesitation Lisa stabbed toward both men. Then she carried Jack to safety, returned and plunged a knife into the man's chest. She tore out his heart and swallowed it. Only by doing that could she completely destroy him. Afterward Lisa took the mask and placed it on the temple idol. She returned the stolen power to the three-eyed deity. Later the police learned from the master that most of the villagers secretly worshipped the three-eyed god. The cult had been using black magic on monks to lure more villagers into joining them. Lisa had been the light in the darkness. She had freed the villagers from the cult's control. And with that the film came to an end.